this class will be taking a quiz very shortly. So in order to monitor them, I will need to be able to see their screen. So at first, whenever you go in, you'll see that it looks like none of them are online. However, all you have to do is go to the settings gear. Once you're here, scroll down and you'll see ad hoc. So I haven't started my time. So I'm just going to set this for about 45 minutes. Once I click start, you'll see that all of the kids' screens and what they're on at the moment will start to populate. So once you're on, I can collapse this menu here in order to get more screens on. So you'll see here, these kids are getting ready to get on to their assessment on Edulastic. So you see some are already on, some are checking Power School, things like that. Now I do have a student currently right now on YouTube. So what I would like to do is I want to turn these web rules on. So if I go to block list, I can easily add to this block list that I have here, view it. If I want to add in one, I can add YouTube on here because I do not want them getting on YouTube during the test. So I'm going to update that list. And as you'll see, they're starting to get on to their assessment. And I'm going to turn on these web rules. And I will turn on the block list. Once I turn that on, I'm going to click the list, the AI one or YouTube list. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to apply it to my screen. And you'll see the student who is on it no longer is there. So those three things that are on that block list are no longer allowed to be on. Now, see there? That is what a screen will look like. That showed real quick that they were trying to do something they were not supposed to do at the moment. You see here you have a few students that are offline. Some of this could be students who are using their personal devices or may need to clear their cache or clear their cookies on their device. So you can sometimes have them update their device or clear those cookies and cache, and it will pop them in on there. All right. So just a couple things to view on here. So you see we have a student here playing a game. So I would like to view this kid. I can record their screen to show what they are doing. So now I'm recording that, and you see that little record thing? So when I click on this kid, I have recordings now for today. And it shows that this kid was on there, and it records their screen, what they were on. And it'll even go back 5 minutes. So that's why there's so many recordings of it. So I have access to this now to show that if their parent asks, like, what were they doing on this test day? Oh, they chose to play on wordplay this day instead of prepping for their assessment. So now I would like to X out of here. Now you'll see that this will record this student for the entire duration of the 45 minutes. And once that 45 minutes is up, it will stop recording. So once you do click record, there is no stop. It just will continue to record. Now I want to remove that block list, that block mode. All I have to do is turn off the web rules. That simple. I can also create groups here. I can create groups. If I have kids that are testing, that are making up a test, or I want the kids to transition from the assessment to their work, I'm going to create a testing group here. And then I will create another one as well. So you want to create two groups. Done with testing. So once I've created these groups, I will be allowed to move them from group to group. So if I have a kid testing, I can put them in those groups. So for example, this kid is not taking the test, so I'm going to put them in done with testing. And then this student is taking the test, so I'll be able to move them to the testing group. This is where I can specifically set rules just for that one group that's up. So if you do have a group that's testing, you can create them their own block list. So I can select this list, and I'm going to apply it just to this one group. So now all the other students who are done with testing no longer have to be blocked, and I can literally just drag and drop them. So I'll drag the student. Let's say that this student is done testing. I will grab them and just move them to the group that is done. And then let's say now this student wants to jump on to the test. I'm going to drag and drop them further down to the testing group. Continuing on, I can still recording this student's screen who was playing a game rather than taking the test. You can see many of the students are on what they are supposed to be on at the moment. You have a student here doing something else, and you can click on this student and you can see their tabs here. And you can exit them out of the things that they are not supposed to be on. So I can see that they are looking at a percentage. I can exit them out of that tab quickly and exit them off of that one to where they don't have that up anymore. And then you can see their history. Again, the history will only show the amount of time that you were monitoring them. You cannot go back to the day before unless you were monitoring them. And you can do that by clicking on this. So now I will have this saved on this date. Same thing with the recordings. There will only be recordings for those that you were actually monitoring and clicked record. Continuing to monitor, you can zoom in and out to see what their screens are. You can click on them to see that this student has the assessment up from Edge Elastic, and they're taking their assessment. Continuing to monitor them. So the student now resetting their screen, going back to Pear Deck. We're still recording this student's screen, so that kind of shows that it took that student a pretty long time to get on to what they were supposed to be on. So now we have that documentation there. So all the kids are on what they're supposed to be on. So you can see here that this student just tried to get on something they weren't supposed to be on once they were taking the assessment. So this does have a lockdown on it, this testing software does. So you can see that they tried to get on something they were not supposed to be on. So that is something I could, if I wanted to, begin to record. And now it's also in their history as well. Continuing to look. Again, I can drag and drop. Let's say these kids are done. I'm going to remove them from the group and put them with the rest of their students. And you can move students around too. And if you wanted to have all the students instead of the 2 at a time, you can move that around here at the top and zoom out here. Okay. And then here's what the list view looks like. If I wanted to look here, you can see here their name, and then you'll also notice what they're currently on. So they're all on that assessment there. So they're all doing what they are supposed to be doing at the moment. So this is what it looks like when you're monitoring students and managing that digital classroom here. Now, if I am done with monitoring the class, I'm going to click the settings gear. And all I have to do is click stop. Now that I've stopped, you'll notice that I will not be able to see what the students are on anymore. You always have to be in monitoring mode at all times. in order to view that. It's very important that you click stop. Also, because if they are going to another class, you will have to stop monitoring them so that their next teacher can monitor them as well.